Hey there, killer awesome truckers! Well, I'm here with the work truck. One of our work trucks, anyway. Got to take it out to a security officer over at a landfill because their truck has a knocking in the engine and the oil just kind of like leaked on the ground. That's not good. And the place requires a vehicle for a contract. And the fuel card, well, I thought it would work at the Loves over there. No, it doesn't. Had to use it at a Quick Trip. Anyway, we got some things that I want to talk about in regards to a crash that happened in Colorado. So let me go take care of this stuff and we'll talk about it. You can literally lay down here in a Lay's chair.
That's amazing.
All right, so here we go. So several days ago, there was a crash on the I70 in Colorado in that Rocky Mountain area, which seems to happen almost all the time. And it's not even winter yet. Basically, a driver had fallen asleep and went off to the oncoming traffic and crashed into another semi. Well, here, driver fatigue suspected in serious commercial vehicle crash on the I-70. It's involving J.B. Hunt, as you can see right here. Basically, Colorado State Patrol reported that two semi-trucks collided around 4:30 in the morning on September the 20th on eastbound I-70 between Eagle and Edwards. You can see, look at the mess that it's caused right there. One truck was westbound when it went through the left shoulder barrier and into the eastbound lanes where it collided with a semi-truck traveling eastbound. There are two occupants in the eastbound truck. Both were transported to the local area hospital. Their conditions are unknown. There is no reported injury to the westbound driver. They suspect fatigue. But see, here's the thing, and this is why I wanted to go over this. It's not so much this article. This article got my attention, certainly, but there is a video of a news clip, and I wanted to give some commentary on it. Not necessarily a reaction video, but more of a commentary, because I got some things that I want to say. So let's pull up that clip.
Well, it's something we're hearing about more and more, semi-trucks getting into crashes along our mountain highways.
A crash occurred earlier this week, shutting down a portion of I-70 near Glenwood Canyon. That highway was closed yesterday for cleanup, and now there's a push to make our mountain highways safer for all drivers.
Okay, so based on the comments of this video, these appear to be two different instances, not exactly the same one, but you'll see where it's going and why I've got something I want to say about this.
Well, the changes are already in effect. There is already a law that is established that is restricting commercial vehicles going through Glenwood Canyon only in the left lane. They must be in the right lane, and they also have to go slower than the posted speed limit. That's not just in Glenwood Canyon, though. It's in multiple different spots that are difficult along I-70. Now, we're still...
Okay, so that's all well and good. The speed limit is mainly meant for four-wheelers. It's not for semi-trucks. Semi-trucks should be going slower. Do they go slower? No, they don't. This isn't going to work. What they're proposing here is not going to work. We'll talk about it here in a moment. I get it. I know what they're trying to say. Have the trucks over on the right lane. Have them go slow. That's what you should be doing when going through that mountain pass, and not holding up traffic behind you. So they should be going slow. But this isn't going to work, and I'll tell you why. But let's get back to this.
Now, we're still waiting to hear from investigators whether this most recent crash earlier in the week had anything to do with those factors, speed or being in the left lane. But we know for a fact that several other crashes in that canyon have had that problem.
For the kind of destruction you see, it's an oddly common sight. A
Look at this.
semi-truck careening over the side of I-70 in Glenwood Canyon, now blocking the road and creating a seriously dangerous situation for drivers. Lawmakers are tired of seeing this too, so they pushed through the Commercial Vehicle Highway Safety Measures Bill, signed into law this summer.
I said, oh, it's finally they're doing something.
It's been on the radar of politicians for a while now.
What we've seen over the last few winters is a ton of accidents with semis and commercial vehicles, both in Glenwood Canyon and along the whole mountain corridor.
Yeah, and there's a reason why there's so many accidents is because they're getting a lot of these drivers, and let's be honest, okay? There's a lot of foreigners on the road now. There's a lot more foreigners on the road than what there used to be. And these companies are taking advantage of these foreigners. They're paying them peanuts to do this driving, pushing them, manipulating them. Bad trucking companies are to blame as well. It's not just drivers, it's also the trucking companies too. There's also the training. There isn't proper training when it comes to driving in the winter or driving in the mountains. I should know. I had that problem. I was with Swift. It's kind of a long story. Those of you that have been with me on the channel, you know that I'm still employed by them, but I only drive on a casual basis now. I'm not like full-time OTR like I used to be. But I had to figure out mountain driving and winter driving on my own. Nobody showed me. And the only thing that I would hear is, well, maybe you should look up some YouTube videos, or maybe you should just take it slow. Oh, great. Yeah, that's some proper training for you. Thanks a lot. But as a sense of self-preservation and survival, I did my research so that way I could survive out on the road and be able to do these loads and stuff like that. And I got very, very comfortable and very confident about driving in mountains and in the winter. I knew exactly what I needed to do. Yes, you need to slow down. There's a little bit more to it than just slowing down. It's also a combination of switching to manual instead of automatic, making sure that your jakes are set properly, and using your foot brake as little as possible. So there's a lot that I learned on my own. But the thing is that not everyone can learn on their own. And so, yeah, it's those of you that are on the road, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But these people, they don't get it. All right, the people behind the camera, these news people, a lot of the regular folk, they don't understand what happens behind the wheel of these trucks. It's not just a simple, Sunday drive in one of those things. There's a lot more involved. And if you've ever been interested to see like how much is involved in doing this truck driving, on this channel, on my channel here, I document my entire first year with Swift, every single load that I had. So I documented the whole thing. So if you wanted to see what it's like being a new truck driver for the first year, there you go. And there is a situation where I burnt up my brakes on the I70, and I was lucky. So yeah, if you're interested, go check that out. It's kind of an eye-opening experience. Let's continue with the video here.
Because the data proves trucks are just going too fast for the curves.
Yes, they are.
Causing these issues year after year.
Well, a truck like that can do a lot of damage to anybody.
Yes.
Especially if it's out of control.
Absolutely.
Vince reached out to us to say he saw just how useful that this law could be if the trucker in his story followed it. He says a truck came up on him in the left lane speeding, and it was clear that the truck's brakes were in trouble by the time he started to head back
I
down
believe
the
that.
By the time he got down to the bottom of the hill, thank God he made it down there, it looked like the truck was on fire almost.
CDOT has its hands full all over the state, like with a rock slide earlier this week up north.
We pretty much got the gist of the video itself. I'll put a link to the actual video in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. But here's my situation. Here's my thing about this. All right, there are drivers out there that are already driving too fast. Okay, they don't care when it comes to what lane they're driving in. The only thing they care about is their miles and their time. I've got to get this load delivered. I don't have time for this. Okay, do you see where I'm getting with this? Do you see why this isn't going to work? What's going to happen? You're going to have you've also got new drivers on the road that maybe they're not exactly comfortable driving in the mountains just yet, so they might be taking it a little bit more slower than maybe someone else. Not saying that someone else would be speeding. They're taking, they're taking it at a speed that they should be taking it. A newer driver is like still trying to get, used to it, comfortable with it, and will be driving slower. So what does that mean? That means that if all of these trucks were to be following the rule of not driving in the left lane, you're going to have a train of semi-trucks all backed up. That's what that means. And you're going to have you're going to have truck drivers that are frustrated. They're going to want to speed around. It's going to cause a dangerous situation. And not just that, you've got drivers that they don't know how to drive in the mountains. They use their foot brake. They don't know what Jake is. I guess they may have heard Jake and maybe thought that Jake is the one that created the brake. I don't know. But we also call them engine brakes. So that way you don't burn up your foot brakes. Or use up all the air and your air brakes to where they don't work anymore. So what's going to happen? You're going to have a train of these semi trucks in the right lane, and you're going to have 1, 2, who knows how many that are behind that can't control their truck because they don't know how to drive properly in the mountains. So what's going to happen? They are going to go too fast. They're going to burn up the brakes or something, and they're going to slam into the back of another 18-wheeler, which is then going to smash into the one in front of them, because a lot of these drivers, they don't know what following distance is. They all like to tailgate each other. And considering that there's going to be a long train of these trucks in the right lane, yeah, they're going to be following very closely. I mean, you think they're all going to give proper spacing? Come on, let's be serious. I mean, you folks that have been out there driving for a while, you know how it is, all right? That's not going to happen. So you're going to wind up having this domino effect. Just one truck crashing into another, which is going to cascade into a whole bunch of other ones. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but this is what I see happening. I get it. I know what the lawmakers are trying to do, but they're not looking at the bigger picture. This is not going to fix the situation. In order to fix this situation, you can see the lane here, right? You need another lane. You need another lane. Yes, make the left lane no trucks. Put a third lane in here, so that way slower trucks are in the right, and in the middle lane, you've got other trucks that can pass them. That's what you need to do. And it's not a simple solution. It's going to take time. It's going to take months. It's going to take years. That's a long stretch of roadway. And think, it's not even winter yet. It is not even winter yet. I don't know. I think we're going to have to revisit this subject later on in the channel, especially when the winter starts hitting, because we're going to have to refer back to this video. But I see this getting bad. I really do. I got out of OTR last December. Last December was the last month that I did OTR. Now I just do it on a casual basis where, I might take a load, a state over, and then come back or something like that. I don't really call that OTR. I mean, yeah, it's over the road, but you know what I mean. It's not really full time. Yeah, it just is what it is. So there you go. That's what I want to talk about in this video here. What are your thoughts about this whole thing? Do you think this is going to make things better? And hey, if you're a truck driver, or maybe you're not a truck driver, I want to hear from you. All right, let's hear from you. Is this going to work? Why is it going to work? If you believe this is going to work, why is it going to work? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. If it's not going to work, want to hear that too. All right, why it can work, why it can't work. Maybe give some solutions on what might make this work. I don't think there is a solution other than adding another lane, and that's not like something that they can do quickly. That's going to take time. So What is a immediate fix to the situation? Is there one? I want to hear from you. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you'll check out other stuff on the channel. We'll see you next time. Have a killer, awesome day.